Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to work on this little air-cooled Waterloo engine. What I'm going to try to do today is get this box right here hooked up to this igniter, get it wired in, and see if we can get this engine cranked, see how it runs. So if you have an igniter like this is low tension. Absent a spark plug, no spark plug with an igniter, this is low tension. And I'm going to try to mount this box back here on these skids to see if we can get everything in there. So if you're going to take on a project like this, if you're going to wire in a low tension igniter type engine, you're going to need some stuff, somewhere to put your battery and coil. Got a battery here. I'm using an old car coil. I actually bought it at a yard sale, so we'll see if it works. Then you're going to need some kind of way to disconnect the battery. I use alligator clips in this particular situation. You can mount the switch on the side of your box if you'd like. I just don't have a small switch with me right now. Something else I like to use, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is an old lamp cord. That was actually on the side of the road down the street on trash day, and I picked it up and cut the cord out. These are good. They're usually about 4 foot long, which is plenty long enough for the engine, and they are already coated and insulated. But most of the ones I've seen, if you'll look on the wire, let me get the wire in here. You'll see a stripe, usually a brown or a black stripe. One will have it and one won't. That's what I use as a reference to be able to know when I'm running hot to negative, negative to hot, that type of stuff. So it's good. I got a particular way that I wire these up, just for my own brain. It may or may not work for you. If it doesn't, on a low tension system, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of complete a circuit. So I'm going to shut the camera off, get this box mounted, and run this wire, and I'll show you how we hook it up. Hang tight. Okay, everybody, got the box mounted. So I'm going to show you how I wired up the igniter. We got the line coming from the ground side to here to this screw on the igniter. That's going to be our ground. I usually put a black connector there, but I didn't have one. And then this one is, this is our hot wire. It's going to go to this brass thing. So what I did was I ran the wire down underneath the skid, back into the box, and this is how I wired it up. So we got the red wire coming off the red terminal into the coil. Electricity goes around the coil, comes back out, it goes back to this part of the igniter. And then, remember I was telling you before, our cord has a black stripe on it. That's this one, that's the ground. That wire runs all the way under the skid, comes back up, and goes here to the black part on the negative battery, negative post on the battery. So that's how I wire it up. I did it like this just so when it's time to take the battery out and charge it, or if you want to disconnect it, you can pull any one of these two wires to break the circuit. So that's how I do it. That's how I always was taught. So I follow the circuit, or I follow the electricity in the circuit out of the red, through the red wire, into the coil, around the coil, and then back to the top of the igniter. So if we did everything correctly, the battery's hooked up, the coil's hooked up. This is an automotive coil, so I'm just using the windings inside. I'm not using the spark plug which normally would have come out of there. If we did this correctly, we should be able to go over here and take this hot wire and rub it along here somewhere and see if we get a spark. Okay, we got a spark. So by hitting it on that, we're simulating closing the circuits and getting a spark. Little tip on these brass things here, right here. So how they work is you push this bottom tab down and it leaves a hole opening there, and you push your wire through there, so when the points close, it completes your circuit. All this stuff has to be clean. You always want a good contract, especially here on the ground side. So what I did is I took the screw out, got the wire brush, cleaned all this, and got all the ground side clean. So what a little trick you can do here is push that close and take a small round chainsaw file and push it in and out there, and that'll give you a good mating surface on inside. Then when you let this clip go, it holds the wire in place. Okay, hang tight, we'll be right back. Let me finish this up. Okay everybody, just to wrap this up, got this part completed. So we got our ground wire going to the screw here on the igniter. Some igniters have these and some don't. If they don't, you can run the ground wire to a bolt that's grounded to the engine somewhere, like here. If I was going to mount the battery box in the back, I might mount the ground wire to there, just from your battery straight to your wire. But the way I did this was got the little black stripe on this wire. This one does not have it. This is hot, this is ground. And I run it back underneath the engine. You can run it on the outside if you like, whatever your preference is. We just want to make sure we keep it out of any moving parts. Comes back here into the box. I installed me a little handle so I can open the box up. And then in here we have the wire coming from the igniter to the stripe, where the stripe goes to the black. So we got black on black, we know that there. And then the red post on the battery comes out of the red wire into the coil. The electricity goes around the coil, out this wire with the red mark on it, and back to the brass part on your igniter. So that's it. That's really about it. So we're going to continue to working on the Waterloo. Come back next week and we're going to install this belting that drives the fan from the flywheel to the fan. Okay, thank you.